Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the CHOFETZ CHAIM, where he's describing to us all of the positive commandments that a person can transgress when they speak Lashon HaRa. The calls everything we've spoken about up until this point about the prohibition of speaking Lashon HaRa. Afilu shaloi bebeis hamidrash. That's even if you're not in the house of study, in a yeshiva room, or in a beis haknesses, in a shul. However, says the CHOFETZ CHAIM, if you end up speaking Lashon HaRa inside of a shul or inside of a study hall or yeshiva, there's a positive commandment that you will transgress, and it's called my migdashi, my sanctuary, you should fear, which means there's a certain level of derech eretz and a certain level of awe and respect that one must have in a beis midrash, in a beis haknesses, and if you're speaking Lashon HaRa, you violate that. Ubeis hamidrash shalanu gam b'chal migdashu, and our bati midrashim, our study halls, our yeshivas, they qualify as a migdash, as a sanctuary, like it says in this verse, k'moshen avar ba'paiskim, like it's brought down in halacha that way. The verse is telling us that you should have awe and fear of the one who is dwelling in that place. It's talking about Hashem. Hashem dwells in the Beis HaMidrash. He dwells in the Beis HaKnesses. And that's why you're not supposed to pull out your checkbook and start balancing your checkbook and figure out how much money you're spending on gas and power every month. All you can do is cheshbon out. You can balance the things that have to do with mitzvahs. You want to figure out how much money is in the tzedakah boxes of the shul, how much you can give to the poor. All the more so, it's also prohibited for a person to laugh excessively and to have sicha betela, meaningless conversations, and to act foolishly in the Beis HaKnesses. It's a place of awe and reverence. And even if you want to make some kind of a stipulation when you build this Beis HaMidrash, this is a place not only of study and worship, but it's also a place where we have stand-up comedy. Says the CHOFETZ CHAIM, such a stipulation does not work. Ve'alachas kama v'kama, all the more so, the aser l'daber behem Lashon HaRa or rechilos. How much more so you're not allowed to speak Lashon HaRa, gossip, rechilos, tale-bearing, because of the awe and the reverence of Hashem that you're supposed to have, who dwells in that place. Besides the prohibition of just speaking Lashon HaRa, you have another prohibition, another mitzvah that you are transgressing by defaming HaKadosh Baruch Hu, by speaking these things in His presence. And therefore, someone who sits in the Beis Midrash and he speaks Lashon HaRa, he shows about himself, he shows that he doesn't really believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu rests His Shechina in this house of study, in this house of prayer. And that's why he's being so brazen over here. He speaks in the house of the king without the permission of the king. That's even if you're not speaking Lashon HaRa, no one's allowed to, because the king is telling you could speak, you cannot speak. If you're in the house of the king, the Beis HaKnesses, the Beis HaMidrash, and you're in a place where the reverence and the awe and the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there, al achas kama v'kama, all the more so, how careful a person has to be. They must realize over there that Hashem is listening and Hashem is watching. And if I speak Lashon HaRa, it shows that I don't really believe HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here. And he brings that over here from, I believe, the Zayar that says like this: Misha Mesape b'Beis HaKnesses Diborim Shel Choil, someone who speaks inside of a shul, non-consequential things, just mundane speech. Oy loy l'shemar perud. Woe is to him who shows that he is separating himself from Hashem. Oy lo shemegareya men monos. So he shows that he's not a trustworthy person. Woe is to him. Shemar she'ein Elokim v'lo nimsa sham. He seems to show that he doesn't believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here. Ve'ein lo chelik boi v'lo yarei mimenu. He has no portion in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He doesn't fear from Hashem. V'noyek kalam b'tikun ha'elyon shelamala. And it's going to be disgraceful for him above and beyond when he leaves this world for what he did wrong in the way that he treated the Beis HaKnesses. The Beis HaKnesses is a place, it's the closest thing that we have to the Beis HaMikdash today. Just like in the Beis HaMikdash we had that fear and awe and reverence for Hashem, the same way that's the behavior that we're supposed to have in the Beis HaKnesses, in the Shul, in the Yeshiva, treated properly. And if we do that, then Hashem will treat us properly, and He will be mashre shchinaso aleinu. He will rest His Shechina upon us. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful Shabbos.